So, having just reviewed the Burgundy Duchess here, the Duchess de Bourgogne, we're introduced to a kind of new category of beer here, the Flemish Red Ale. So, what do you know about this? What is that Flemish style exactly when it comes to these kinds of ales?
So that's a very unique and interesting style. And if you haven't watched the review, please go and check it out because it's incredible. And Joe tried this beer for the first time. So if you haven't you would like to see their live reaction, please go out and check that. So what I wanted to tell you about the Flemish Red Ale specifically is that a lot of people compare it to the Lambic, but it's actually different because a lot of the Lambics usually use wheat in the process, while the Flemish Red Ale is traditionally barley. But what makes it unique is the aging process. So the way they do it is that they have usually an older ale that is aged up to 18 months. And then they use a portion of that same beer that is only aged for, they call it young beer, that is aged only up to 8 months. And then they mix those two in different percentages in order to obtain the final product. So it's almost like a blending process, almost like more of a whiskey or a cognac. So they're blending those together and getting like the final product that is the unique and fantastic flavor that in this case is the Duchess, in other cases a different brand, but that's kind of like the Flemish Red Ale.
Wow, and it's aged in oak barrels, correct? But I know like with Lambics, and I don't want to compare it too much to a Lambic because I know it's a completely different style. Lambics have that kind of open air fermentation, right? Where it's kind of left in an open pool to ferment, exposed to elements. This isn't that style at all. This is aged in oak barrels, correct?
You're 100% right, my friend. And the oak actually is imparting a lot of those fruity characters that you find in the beer sometimes. So oak is an important aspect of this style of beer. So it's very good that you mentioned that.
Is it the aging process specifically that gives it the sour notes to it? Is it the fact that it's aged in the oak barrels? What is it that gives it the sour flavor?
You are correct. It's the fact that it's being aged for a certain amount of time inside of oak barrels. So the oak barrel imparts like flavors and the aging process itself. So the yeast that is still present, the bacteria that is present that reacts over time in the beer. All of those elements are giving extra character to the beer that normally you wouldn't find.